or something like that, but it seems like it's a fixed rate all the time there. Now, Gary?
Can we speak?
Yeah, go ahead there.
Okay, I have an upside furnace, right? Outside, cold wood. And, I got plenty of clothes I live by myself. And I had a real bad ear infection. So I went to the doctor and he said, you know, you take a shirt. So I said, I think I'll bath the old fashioned way. And I took a gallon jug and put it in my heat vent because them heat, you know, it's hot. My house is around 80, 85 degrees. Well, I got my power bill, I never used dryer, even cut the hot water heater off, it don't. So you don't cut back and save it.
Well, I found the list, Mr. Chairman. The CEO has a base pay of 1.5 million. Bonus and non-equity incentive, comp is 3.6 million. Total cash comp is 5.1 million. Stock award value is 10.8 million. Total equity is 10.8. Total other, incentives is 216,000. And the total compensation package is $16.1 million for one man while we've got people down here who can't buy the medicine that they need to live on.
One more question. Mr. Chairman? Yes. Solar, windmill?
They're working on it over there.
I begged for it for years.
Okay, let's move and did we vote? And vote there. Dave?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Lee? Trey? I also vote yes, sir. And, I don't know, we can pass all kinds of resolutions there, but we were talking about there, I watch my power bill every summer there. And don't make any difference what you use. Summer months, I look back at the past years, it's about the same. Once it hits November, that is your December, January, and February. All the power bills run about the same at my house. And then, along about March, they start going back again there, you know, right there. And some winters, it's as cold in these other months as it is in that December and January, but yet the bill is less this month than it is. That's the thing I can't understand there. You use the same amount of heat, same amount of electricity for those of us that are home all the time there, and how that bill changes there. All right, I'll go to item 9, Marcus. Come on up.
First thing I have, Mr. Chairman, I'd like the board to consider scheduling a public hearing to hear public comments regarding the abandonment of County Road 2272, Red Dog Road, located in Rock Lake Magisterial District.
I'll make that motion, but I'm gonna schedule a public hearing for April board meeting. Did it? Okay, I thought, yeah, I'll make that in May.
Yeah.
8 May.
Got a second? Who? Okay, we got a second to Lee, and roll call it, Trey.
May the 6th.
On the Red Dog Road, is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, I vote. You good with that, Craig?
Yes. That'd be May the 6th.
May 6th. Okay, Trey vote yes, Lee vote yes, Craig?
Yes.
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 Jeff, yes, Tim, yes,
Yes.
Dave, yes,
Yes.
okay. I vote yes. Go ahead, next one.
Let the board consider approving the amendment and additional appropriation to the FY 23-24 co-roll plan in the amount of $100,000 to purchase materials for the NRCS grant projects in Getch's Fork pertaining to the August 21 flood. This was an oversight in the co-roll plan. I should have put this into the 23-24 co-roll plan. I did not, we have to cash flow the materials, but we are being reimbursed for this, but we have to have the money in the budget in order to cash flow also.
Is this, any of this reimbursable for anything, or do we get the grant for the whole thing?
75, 25, they are paying for our labor and equipment.
Motion?
Yes. Roll call right there, Dave.
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Craig? Lee? Trey? I also vote yes.
Next thing, I'd like the board to consider an amendment, additional appropriation to, 41080700 account in the FY 23-24 co-roll plan in the amount of $180,000 to supply the materials needed to construct 7 salt bins.
Motion and a
Second, and roll call it. Dave, I'll start with you again there, and Tim?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Lee? Trey? I also vote yes.
Next thing, I'd like the board to consider the amendment and additional appropriations of 41080700 to the FY 23-24 co-roll plan in the amount of $294,000 to purchase 7 Bobcat tractor loaders. Yeah, well, before I got to that.
I'm gonna make a motion, but I'm gonna ask that my district get a little mini excavator instead of the tractor loader, so I can use it for other things. So, motion's on the floor.
last them there.
Can we use these loaders anywhere else?
That was the idea, was to use them, with,
Clipper,
to use them for your parks and stuff like that on non-snow days, so.
What about, weed cutting? Do we have the civil bar with it?
You'd have to buy that separately out of your own accounts. But, Benji can speak more to to what the tractor can do and what it can't do, but, this was cheaper than a skid steer by half. We looked at a John Deere tractor, we looked at was it Massey, Kubota,
Bobcat.
and Bobcat, and, the Harbor Freight version, whatever that was, but, this was the cheaper, better option out of all of them.
Is it capable of using a sickle bar?
Yes, it has all the hydraulics, and you can get a hydraulic flail mower to put on the back, or whatever else you want to do with it. That's what we thought, 2 birds, 1 stone.
As far as purchasing
That, we haven't talked about anything about that. We're just talking about just for the salt bins. I know Trey's got some things he'd like to do, but we have excavators. We have people to run the excavators, and we've talked about that in the past. That we want our county people running our larger equipment on county roads and cemetery roads and things like that.
That's fine. Just do the thing. Motion's on the floor.
Second.
Seven tractors.
What was that total again?
Just
200?
one second, can we not get the sickle bar mowers on these tractors on our roads, when we put, county roads legal in When's the total meeting?
Can we add the sickle bar?
The idea was that the co-road was going to buy the tractors, and if y'all wanted to buy the accessories, you can do that out of your highway system bridges. That's what, Benji and I kinda talked about,
That's what was discussed.
yeah. But, by all means, we work for you all. If you want to present that to the Joe committee, in April,
I mean, sickle bar mowers can be quite a bit of money. I don't think we-
you can take that to them in April, but, it's up to you all. However you all wanna handle it.
I'm gonna add that.
What is a sickle bar, Benji?
I don't know, actually, I can't remember if he told me or not, but I actually talked to him about a hydraulic flail mower. That's what I talked to him about, that actually seems better than the sickle bar for what. Be lying if I know. I figure $8,000-10,000 anyway, something like that. That may be way out.
If you add anything, the additions would have to go back to coal roads.
Let's just approve the tractors not, we'll do a separate motion later for the sickle bar, just get it approved since Coal Road
Okay.
has approved the tractors, right?
your motion is in
Just
just
as
for
is,
tractors, all
yes.
right?
$294,000.
our cold road
roll call it.
appointment
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Trey? Yes, I vote yes.
Next, I'd like the board to consider amending the 23-24 co-roll plan, not an additional appropriation, but just an amendment to allow surplus CST appropriated funds to be used on, sections of overlay on the, Route 604, Poplar Creek, Rock Lake District. There's a need there for some additional overlay. We use some surplus money off of CST funding projects that's currently in the 23-24 budget.
Question before you go on there, what's the amount of, money each district gets for the year out of the co-road plan?
That's a loaded question. I mean, if you're talking about county roads, it was $248,000 this year.
8 per district.
Can we change that?
And
This
then,
fiscal year from what? When did that change?
Oh, we look the money out.
But it's still 350.
That's the stay out for the work.
I was fine with that. I thought he started at 240 and was trying to take that out. So as long as it comes from 350, I'm fine with, okay.
each district gets that, and if it goes over that, who pays? Co-road or who I'm talking about, it come out of the,
That's where my job comes into play, to make sure that it doesn't go over.
I ain't saying, I just want to understand, like payment or whatever. Each district will get the same amount, though, right?
Anything over comes out of our highway, streets and bridges, don't it?
Yeah,
If you don't use all yours, Roger, I'll take it.
No, Roger's use is this time.
I said, if you don't use all yours, I'll take it.
No, I used all of mine, and I actually paid a bill there this time, extra for some pavement.
That's
there.
Marcus's fault, make him pay it.
Okay. We're on,
So do we need to do a motion on that?
You did a motion to approve that amendment.
Motion.
Which one won, 604 or 604?
again, start with Dave,
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Jeff? Craig? Lee? Trey? I also vote yes.
The next two items kind of go together. I'd like the board to consider amendment and additional appropriation to the 23-24 co-roll plan in the amount of $350,000 to purchase equipment necessary for an additional road crew. And that will also allow us to buy a used end loader and another single axle truck for the existing crews that we have right now. You know, that is necessary. If the co-committee approved the additional road crew, and that's a step to not renew the maintenance contract in June when it expires and do everything in-house.
Co-road's already approved, Motion.
We asked that you add the date at the end of that yearly maintenance contract, July 1st, 2024.
So what are we gonna do on our pavement? Are we gonna get a pavement?
That's not the same thing.
Will we not be better off doing that ourselves?
I don't think so. That's hard stuff to really get good at. It's hard enough for these people that all got to get good at.
Are we having permission for it?
Motion second on the floor.
No discussion, call it, Dave?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Lee? Trey? Yes, I also vote yes.
We keep in mind that later on, we anticipate the new crew starting on July 1, so we need to go over their views. We start July 1, and this will allow Benny and I to purchase the equipment necessary to get everything ready, to get them going.
It's the same thing we did, just, because it.
Make that motion.
Motion,
Second.
second by Tim. And Trey? Tim? And Lee, I mean, Craig?
Yes.
Jeff? Tim? Dave? I also vote yes. Anything else?
That's all I have on the agenda, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you,
But I got
Mr. Dillon.
one thing I need to show Marcus. At the top of Split Rock, that turnaround, can we get that paved? we dug that turn in. Yeah, where we widened that out. Yeah, can we get that paved as soon as we get started up?
Don't go anywhere, Marcus. Hey,
Good
what?
with that, Marcus? That was that turnaround that we did there 2 or 3 years ago, whatever. Yeah, all right.
Hey, Lee, where are we on,
Where did Lee show? You trying to figure out where the board meeting there, Mr.
I was in my office, I was thinking 6 o'clock.
Asleep?
No, I wasn't asleep.
Where are we on, Dennis Cunningham's situation up there on Matney Road? Getting that, bridge that's fallen, taken out of the creek?
Matthew Bridge, property issue. Again, wants to take the bridge out, that's his own problem.
We had Bart go over and say it was a danger.
Is this the property that involves, Cunningham?
yes.
Okay. I mean, the right of entry, I think we would need, the Cunninghams, I think, are willing to execute it. I think it was a question of who owned on the other side, because it looked like it was a situation where
The
the
lady
bridge.
passed away, the house is abandoned, the house is actually fallen down, the bridge is fallen in the creek, I don't care who owns it on the other side of the creek. Nobody lives there, nobody wants to claim it, whatever. The
Okay.
bridge is falling in the creek, creating a danger for other citizens, and I want it taken out immediately. I've been asking for this for a year now.
Marcus, do you know if Bart has looked at this structure as a public? Okay. I think all that we would probably need then, if we can't identify the other owner, it's just a motion from the board that it is a imminent, immediate danger to either life or property as a public nuisance and can be immediately removed.
I'm making that motion now, and, also for the board's info, Bart Chambers has agreed, who is their person that does that, so, I want the bridge moved.
Starting tomorrow, hopefully.
You make the motion
Motion's on the
tonight,
floor.
then, and direct Benji to go ahead and start.
Take it out, as soon as this passes. Thank you.
Is it in the county system now?
No, it's a bridge that got flooded during the, 21 flood, and it's just continuing to fall in the creek, gonna block the creek up and flood these older folks upstream of it, and I've been trying for over a year to get it removed. Bart went and looked at it, Benji and Marcus agree, to take it out. It's a private bridge, but the house is abandoned, been abandoned for years, across the bridge. We just gotta get it out. It's,
I understand that there, only thing about it, when you remove something from the county system, are we all?
no, it's not a county bridge, it's a private bridge, but it's fell in.
It's not.
Mr. Atkins, if I can, and I'd ask Marcus to.
I thought it was in the.
If I'm
county
wrong on
system.
this, Marcus, but I think initially when you looked at it, it wasn't in the shape that it's currently in now. So-
Like Trish said, it has gotten worse.
Right, and at some point, we got Bart to look at it, and he went ahead and found it to be a public nuisance. So we haven't been able to identify that property owner based on what the language in the ordinance, just simply the motion you all made, we can get it out.
All right, good deal. We're ready for a roll call.
Okay, we got one absent, so we'll, now, I'll start again. Dave?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Yes.
Greg, Lee, Trey? And I also vote yes, sir.
Real quick,
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, if you don't care, I got a question for Mr. Moise. The homes that I asked you about on 609,
Right.
are they ready to be torn down?
I contacted Ms. Belcher again, Patricia Belcher, on Friday, and as I said, there were 3 children involved. This Mr. Belcher, the property owner, died intestate. The children were not the children of his widow, so that means that the 3 children have a 2/3 interest in the property under the intestate statute. The widow has a 1/3 interest, and 2 of the children are in Georgia. One of them was previously in Tazewell, but that son moved to Georgia too.
Taxes been paid on it?
No, I think it's like 5 years delinquent, I believe. If I remember from what Vicki told me, there's like 5 years of delinquency. So, or more, but maybe back to 2016.
Okay, so where are we at now with getting that
Okay,
torn down?
where we are, she was going to try to get the addresses for me for the 2 sons in Georgia. If we could get them to sign the right of entry document, that is what the ordinance requires us to do first if we identify the owners. If she can't locate them, then we're going to be in a similar situation to the motion that Mr. Atkins just made in regards to that Cunningham Bridge issue.
Okay, the next property I want you to start on is the mess right there at the end of 609. When you come out to 460, those structures right there, that's been there falling in and everything for the last 25 years. It's,
So if Bart's taking a look at that yet?
so I need you make a note to make sure we get both those properties that I talked to him about torn down.
Right after you turn off of 460?
So if you, 609 meets 460, just look right.
And straight across the road, you can see them both. You can't miss them.
That old trailer, that old building there, but.
Oh, yeah.
Glad you made it, Lee. Thank you.
So in any event, I told Ms. Belcher I would give her a call in about a week to see if she'd had any luck locating those two sons in Georgia. If she hasn't, we can't find them, then it should be in a situation to be teed up for a similar
Can I make a
motion.
motion today to proceed with that, pursuant upon the,
I think if you make a motion with the understanding that we can't locate those two sons, to present the right of entry document for them to sign.
go ahead and start.
Yes,
Great.
yes.
That's my.
And
motion.
I would just ask that we have at least till the end of February, try to not just locate them, but to get them to sign the document.
I'm gonna make that motion.
I second it. You heard the part I added to Craig's motion, didn't you, Ben? That the bridge comes out first.
I didn't hear it, but yeah.
Again, with the bridge coming out, again, you got rights to get on the property on the other
We can
side?
get on, yes, Cunningham.
Okay. All right,
Motion's on the floor for the, structures to be torn down if they get the paperwork or if they can't get a hold of the people, correct? Okay.
understand the motion here. And a quick roll call, Trey? Lee?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Yes.
Also vote yes.
Thank you, Marcus.
All right, let's go to the public hearing on, public comments regarding the proposed adoption of amended ordinance entitled an ordinance to establish payment of a bounty for coyotes in accordance with section 15-2, 926-1 of the Code of Virginia, 1950, specifically the proposed amendment to Chapter 22, Animals, Article 3, Bounty for Coyotes of the Buchanan County Code there. I'll open the public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I think what the board approved on an emergency, as an emergency ordinance, back on January 8th, were three things. One, that the bounty would apply to both male and female coyote, and two, that the bounty was raised from $50 per coyote to $100 per coyote. And the third item was that this would be for a 6-month period of time, from January 8th. In preparing the amended ordinance, I ran into some other issues that I thought y'all might want to consider during this public hearing. One, the ordinance currently restricts the bounty to a claimant basically verifying that the coyote was killed on the claimant's property, of course, within the boundaries of Buchanan County. That apparently is not always the case. Also, the ordinance requires that the coyote be shot as far as killing it. And I guess that even if you trapped it, you probably would have to shoot it. But I'm suggesting that what we do is take that language and just say that it's, if it's killed within the boundaries of Buchanan County by a resident of Buchanan County, then the bounty would apply.
Okay, so by a resident of Buchanan County, killed in Buchanan County, and dead's dead. I don't care if they hit it with a stick, a rock, or shoot it.
Start with your Buick.
Yeah, I don't care. Dead's dead. Run it down with a 4-wheeler side by side, whatever, okay? Dead's dead. We need to eliminate them. Thank you, Lee.
We have to have that mercy clause.
So I-
Mercy.
So I just asked the board to consider after the public hearing, when you go ahead and adopt the amended ordinance, that you just add that additional changes. You know, that it's just, the key's gonna be that the coyote is killed by a resident of Buchanan County within the boundaries of Buchanan County.
Yes. And dead's dead. It don't matter how it's killed.
Right, okay.
Okay.
All right, anybody else wanting to speak at this public comment? Mr. Cooper, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, can I speak to Mr. Moline? Ask a question.
$125 there. Yeah.
So what you're saying is before it's saying there was, specific places, like we had to be on your property.
Right, the claimant had to verify, that was requesting the bounty, had to verify that the coyote was killed, basically shot on the claimant's property within Buchanan County. And that apparently is not always the case. So this is just making it a little bit more flexible. As long as the coyote was killed by a resident of Buchanan County making the claim, and it was within the boundaries of Buchanan County, then it would be okay.
Hey, Chad, if you guys with the paper if you don't care, could you, in your article, could you add that the two places to check these, coyotes in are the transfer station at King Mountain and the county garage at Southern Gap? You got that fixed, didn't you, Benji? Okay. Good deal.
Anybody else wishing to speak? If not, do I have
I've got one more thing, Mr.
excuse me, Mr. Dillon, go ahead.
Right. I'd like to know how the board feels about sending a request to the IDA and allowing DGIF and maybe Leon to pick maybe 4 or 5 qualified trappers, not hunting, but trappers to trap the IDA property, because we all know that's where the majority of the elk are and the deer and everything else. So it don't do any good to kill them all the way around and let them just migrate there and stay. So would anybody on the board be opposed to us sending a request to the IDA to consider that? Trey? Lee? Mr. Ryan? No, and like I said, once they trap it, they can kill it. You know, there's a big difference in shooting out there at 200, 300 yards and walking up and just shooting something over top of it. So, you know, because naturally they're going to have to kill it if they trap it. But they need to be taken care of at the IDA property too, because there's 3,000 acres up there that, you know, they can't, nobody do anything on. So, don't care, Mr. Weeks, could you send that request to the IDA board, please, to get with DGIF and Leon Boyd and see if they can find 5 qualified trappers to trap coyote on IDA property only. That's all I have, Mr. Wright.
Okay, Mr. Wagner.
If you trap someone's dog, are you liable for it? No. Just shoot it and break it in? I know you don't.
Right there, anything else? Close the public hearing?
My dog stays on my property, so it'd be a hard time to get my dog stays on my property, so I don't have that problem.
We should.
There was 2 of these coyotes really were dogs.
What, is it coyote?
No, I'm just joking. Anyway, nothing else, close the public hearing, and then make a motion by Mr. Stiltner. Second?
Second.
Tim, roll call it. Trey, Lee, Craig, Jeff,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Dave, I also vote yes. Now, item 11, to adopt this ordinance.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Trey and a second by Craig. Roll call it, Dave.
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Jeff, Craig,
Yes.
Lee, Trey. All right, it is passed, and we move to item 12. The agreement between Buchanan County, Virginia and Robinson Farner Cox, associated date September 11th, and authorize the chairman and county administrator to execute the addendum with approval as to form by the county attorney. Anything to say on that? Good?
What you guys requested.
Okay,
Motion.
a motion. Mr. Stiltner, second?
Second.
Got a second? And roll call, Dave?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Lee? Trey?
Yeah.
I also vote yes. Item 13, the surface use agreement and right-of-way easement and option agreement between Buchanan County and Savon LLC of Buchanan County. Solar Project LLC, and authorize the chairman and county administrator to execute the MOU upon approval by the county.
Mr. Chairman, I think we just need to table that and probably take it off the agenda until it's ready. And it's just, we still have to get resolution with CNX on the restrictions in the deed of that 622 acres. And, well, I got an email from the CNX attorney today, this morning, asking to talk about it, said that he had finally spoken to his superiors and that he had a response. And I tried calling him twice and couldn't get through. So I've sent another email back to him suggesting we come up with a time tomorrow. I don't know what the problem is. He had indicated to me that he thought they could waive those restrictions. And I don't know, until I talk with him, I'm not sure exactly where we're at. He did say he had a response, but he did not include that in his email to me. So I hope.
They'll have a land use permit they'll need soon, so.
Well, I'll say this, if it becomes a problem where they will not waive those restrictions, I think we have another alternative, but I would rather not talk about it in open session. But let me find out from him. I still need to talk with him. He says he's got a response as of this morning, but I just could not get him on the phone.
All right. So let's hold the whole project up, basically.
Well, no, actually, the project's been held up because AMLR, the state agency that's giving the grant, they've had to actually vet the project with OSM because it's involving surface mine property. And just like OSM held up the airport project for years, they've created a delay with this project with Savion on the solar project. They feel like, I just had a Zoom meeting with them last week, and Matt Powers with AMLR feels they are which is part of the Virginia Department of Energy, feel they're very close to having it vetted with OSM. They had to tweak a document. I reviewed it, sent it in on Friday that it looked good. They could go ahead and send it in, and hopefully that's going to get that resolved with OSM. But because of that delay, we're looking at the procurement for a contractor on the construction, and for construction probably not to begin somewhere around the end of 2025, 2026. That's what this delay has caused. So we have we have time to work out the right of way for the power line crossing. We have plenty of time for that right now because of this other delay.
We don't want to take our time and then get the other part approved and CNX
Right.
and stuff. So, do we need to make a motion to send our state legislators a letter requesting them, let OSM and whoever, Tim Kane, you said Virginia Department of Energy is working with them.
OSM officers, so, I mean, do we need to send?
It wouldn't hurt to send OSM a letter with a copy to our federal senators and congressmen, urging them to move it along as far as the vetting process is concerned.
I'm gonna make that motion.
Motion by Trey and a second by Craig. Roll call it, Trey.
Yes.
Lee, Craig.
Yes.
Jeff, Tim, David.
Yes.
I also
You
vote
know, it's a
yes.
shame that we're 2 years out on construction when we've got AEP rates the way they are, people with bills the way they have it, and we've got people sitting flat of their asses not doing their job, holding the project on themselves.
Drawing their salary.
Downside of that language.
Yes, but
It's the same thing holding our 11 and 12 on a water project, the vetting process.
You know, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean. They held up the airport project so long that the price of coal went down, and then that caused a further delay with the airport project. I mean, that was going on 10, 12 years ago, trying to get that resolved. And it took years for OSM to finally come around and agree to what we were trying to do.
I think some of these green projects is why our rates are going up. They just get back to base coal and they're a whole lot cheaper.
Okay, can we move on? Item 14, consider approving the agreement between Pictometry International Corporation, Buchanan County, based on the sole source procurement approved in January 2024, full change detection solution, and then,
That's the one that helps the commissioner resident. She's requested it. We've already approved the money for this one. It's just, this is just the agreement.
she wants it, but we're gonna pay for it?
Yes, sir, that's how it works.
Oh, okay. Make a motion for somebody.
Motion.
Craig, second? Lee seconded there, and roll call it, Dave, Tim,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Yes.
Craig, Lee, Trey.
Yes.
I also vote yes. Item 15, consider approving an additional appropriation amount of $8,473 to Appalachian Agency for Senior Citizens to be used as 1% matching funds in the purchase of 7 new buses.
That's a really good deal for us.
Motion.
Second.
I'll give you the motion, I'll take second.
All right.
Okay. Got a motion and a second there, and Dave,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
Lee, Trey. I also yes. Item 16, consider appointments and reappointments to Buchanan County Planning Commission for the South Grundy Magisterial District and Town of Grundy. Currently Peggy Lowe and Rebecca Elkins. I'd like to have both of them back. If somebody make the motion for me, please.
Motion.
And we got a motion
Second.
and a second there, and roll call it. Dave, Tim,
Yes.
Jeff, Greg, Lee, and Trey, and I also vote yes. The appointment to Buchanan County Industrial Development Authority Board on item 17 for the North Grundy Magisterial District. Lee, are you ready to make your appointment?
I am, Mr. Timo.
Second.
Quinn? Okay. Anybody second his motion?
Second.
And roll call it, Dave,
Yes.
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Jeff, Craig, Lee,
Yes.
Trey. Okay, we'll move on to 18, appointment or reappointment to Cumberland Plateau Regional Waste Management Authority Board of Directors, current Tim Hess.
Motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Second. Roll call it then. Trey,
Yes.
Lee, Craig,
Yes.
Jeff, Tim.
Yes.
Is that a good appointment? Okay, on number 19, consider appointment of 2 elected officials to full board for Cumberland Plateau Planning District Commission for a 4-year term. All right, we got down current. Jeff, you want the position?
No, I'd like to come off.
Don't wanna go.
Make a motion, we put David Rose and, Lee Dotson on it.
Second.
Rose and Lee Dodson.
Second.
And we got a second. And roll call it. Dave,
Yes.
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Craig, Lee, Trey. I also vote yes. 20, appointment or reappointment to Buchanan County General Hospital Board of Directors for the South Grundy Magisterial District and the member at large, current Mary Ruth Spencer and Brad Van Dyke. I don't have no problem with either one if I have a motion.
Motion.
A motion and a second there, and roll call it there, Dave, Tim,
Yes.
Jeff, Craig, Lee, Trey, I also vote yes, and consider approving the following additional appropriations.
Motion.
And a second, roll call it, Trey, Lee, Craig, Jeff, Tim,
Yes, that's what I get.
David.
David.
Yes.
We're in closed session.
Oh, we got a ball game going.
Trish, I've got 3 bills I give Craig, he's gonna pay them out of different accounts. Can you make sure my accounts are reimbursed?
Contributions.
Marcus has one, he's trying to figure out who, Marcus. Let Trish have a picture of that bill, once you can put the money back in our accounts.
They haven't been taken out yet.
They take that, okay, so just pay from somewhere else. I'm not signing one, just scribble my name out, put Craig's stickers on there.
Got additional appropriations. I
Mr.
mean,
Chairman, have you got anything? You got a motion
contributions,
on the
Andy?
floor? I don't know.
Okay.
While they're looking at these contributions, I'm gonna make a motion to, appoint as an associate director to the Big Sandy Soil and Water, Conservation District, Leona Wolford. That's come from Bobby Looney.
You second that, I'll go ahead.
Alright, we got a motion and a second to put Leona on the Big Sandy Big Sandy Soil, excuse me. Conservation
Yeah.
Board there, roll call it there, Trey, Lee, Craig, Jeff,
Yes.
Tim, David.
Yes.
I also vote yes. Now, if we don't need no executive session, I'll approve the,
Roger, Mr. Chairman, we have one issue we can take care of while they're looking at those. We do not have enough money budgeted for coyote claims. So, Trish and I have talked about it, she's come up with an amount we would need to appropriate for the, just to get us through, the end of June.
How much?
And this may be high, but we have to go on what we got this month.
Like 56,000.
And coyotes? That's a heck of a bunch of coyotes, ain't it?
It's 8,100 right now.
Seriously.
8,100.
What the heck? Man, we shouldn't have no problem with any deer or Bambi getting killed now, should we? It will. Yeah, it'll slow down. Where are we gonna transfer that from? Additional appropriation? Okay. I'm gonna make a motion to, for an additional appropriation for the amount of $56,000. Tim, you guys, we gotta have $56,000 to get through the end of the year for, coyote claims. That's just a guess. So we're gonna do it as an additional appropriation. You good with that? You good with that? Motion's on the floor. Motion's on the floor. You second that, Lee? Lee second. Lee second.
roll call the coyotes, Trey, money, additional appropriation. Trey, Lee,
Yes.
Craig, Tim, David, Jeff,
JF,
additional coyote money.
I don't know where we put some money.
I also vote yes, so it's approved there.
You can get that money.
Excuse me, Craig, who did you appoint for
Leona Wolford. Leona, Leona, Leona.
Thank you.
I'm gonna make a controversial motion here, so everybody's ready. Back during the primary and general election last year, we, had a question at the law school
What
as
this was
to
100 cheerleaders.
whether we agreed or not to go to 5 districts. I think everybody that was there agreed to it, so
If we split
I'm
that-
gonna make a motion
okay.
that we
So change it to 12
um,
on this one. If it's
add
on
to the
there.
ballot this
She didn't
year
put it, has she?
and
Right
let
there,
the county
change that to
vote
12.
on whether or not they think
Okay, so you're good
Buchanan
with
County
this?
should go back down to
I
5
figured
districts
Roger.
or stay at 7. That needs to be the question posed.
Whatever you want to give.
And if they leave it at 7, we're good.
And
And
then
if
I'll
they
just pay the rest. whatever
vote
y'all want to.
in November to go to 5 districts, then it needs to take effect after this 4-year term of this board's up. So the next election will go back down to the 5 original districts. If county voters vote for that this year. If they don't, if they stay at 7, then we're good. And I think all of us agreed to that at the debate, so, my motion is to put it on the ballot.
Is that something the board, I don't know, the board supervisor?
This is the first I've heard of this, so I have to check and make sure that's a procedure. If that's a procedure, that's fine, but I'm not aware of it.
I love this stuff, but we need to know we're doing the right, or we have to just.
Contingent upon it being legal for us to do.
Okay, you can make the motion, just, subject to me checking it out.
All right.
Or, oh yeah, you got the motion on the floor there.
I think we need to.
We need to debate a little bit on that as to see what the,
I'll make it again, before everybody hears me. I'll make it now. One of the questions posed to the Board of Supervisor candidates in the debates at the law school was if we thought the county with population declining, we should go back down to 5 districts. To my knowledge, everybody answered yes. But I don't think that is this board shouldn't make that decision, in my opinion. I think we should let the voters make that decision. So I'm asking for it to be put on the ballot this year to let Buchanan County voters decide whether we need to be at 7 districts or 5 districts. After this term's up, nobody changes this time, so we'll serve a 4-year term. It'll take effect for the next term.
Contingent on it.
Contingent on it being legal for us to request and do. So the motion's on the floor. You know, we agreed to that at the debate. We need to let the voters vote on it.
Mr. Stiltner, that all.
Mr. Stiltner's here.
I would say no. Or we vote no.
we used to have 5 districts and, one district took control, or one party. They were in control and then they wanted to go to 7 because they lost control. And it's a iffy question to me. I don't think we should change just because we lose our party's control over that. But there are some good points that are going to 5 and maybe even to 3.
I agree. We can pose that question if you'd like.
But I don't know right now. One of the things during the let's say school consolidation, I don't know where it would be good to go 5 or go to 7. You understand what I'm talking about there? It's gonna.
I'm gonna let my motion be either 5 districts, 7 districts, or 9 districts. Let the county voters decide.
No at large.
No at large, it's either
5, 7, or 9, what's the odd number? We'll let the voters decide. The original 5, the 7 we have now, are 9 districts. So, you know, we agreed to this in the debate, so it's time to vote on it. So motion's on the floor.
I'll be here.
I sit on school board for 1 term and this makes me 4 here. 7 really worked good. You know,
Let the voters decide.
Well, the problem is, no disrespect, but a lot of them don't know what they're voting on. When they start voting for,
I think you'd be surprised, the voters in Hurley were real smart this year, but, you know, I mean, it is what it is.
I
But,
just, you're throwing stuff out there that really, I mean, there's not a lot of information out there when they go voting at the booth.
I mean,
They
it's,
just,
it's simple, do you want 5, 7, or 9? We all agree to this after the.
all they know is what district they live in. When they start talking about breaking it down to 5, 7, or 9,
I think it's like seven. That's just me.
yeah, I just, state wanted to step in, I'm fine with it, but I just don't think that will be up to us.
Motion's on the floor, Mr. Chairman, if you could do a roll call vote, I would appreciate it.
Okay, I will roll call it there, but, I think there should be a little bit more.
I mean, they'll have
Why?
the literature put out there on it. You know, that was a question that was posed by the, it was
I know
posed by
they
Tom
asked
Scott.
that, and
We all agreed to it.
I
so-
agreed to that there, like I said there.
What you're talking about-
Can we do it on the spur of the moment? Those my question there.
No, the motion is to have the voters vote on it this year, and it won't take effect until the next term. This board serves its 4-year term, it will only take effect for the next election, the next
But
county
you're still
election.
giving somebody 6 months or 7 months to figure out, learn all the ins and outs of what, you don't even know where your boundary lines are gonna be, you don't know how they're gonna be
We will
drawn.
decide that once they vote how many districts they
Yeah, That's,
I mean, guys, you all agreed to it after the debate. With me, so I'm following up on the debate, I made the motion, I've held my end of the deal up. I think we need to let the voters decide on it. I think all big decisions, voters need to decide on it. And we failed to do that as a board, so I think this is one they need to vote on.
What's gonna happen if Hurley's not one of those districts, so?
Hurley's, if we go to 9 districts, you're gonna add 2 districts to the county. It's gonna downsize all of our districts. If we go down to 5, Knox is one of the districts. It's Knox, Rock Lick, Hurricane, Garden, and Grundy. And no offense, it cuts Prater and one of the Grundys out. And what that does is, you would run in one of the other districts.
you would be gone.
That didn't mean they'll be gone, it means you would run in a different territory.
We go district.
Your territory would change a little bit, back to the 5 original districts, that's what it would be. You still have, all 7 of us still have the opportunity to run for supervisor. You know, it goes back to the old
You know,
boundaries on the 5, or it goes up to 9.
I'm voting no.
When they redistrict, and I'll give you an example, the reason I say you should put a little bit more thought in just how well, I know you've thought about it there, but South Grundy, the reason they have fewer voters, in the past, they finally divided it up a little bit more this time, but they give South Grundy 2 cell blocks up at King Mountain that couldn't vote at all in the redistricting there. Now, and then they say, well, South Grundy needs to be redistricted. Now, this year and this last redistricting, we and me, I don't think I'm gonna be no candidate no more. But at the same time, at 7, you've got what, 3,000 people, or I believe it's 3,000. Now, if you go 9, you almost have a supervisor for everybody in the population if we keep losing population like we got. And if you go to 5, you could eliminate yourself. So you should think about that. Like I said, I ain't gonna be no candidate, I don't think, unless the good Lord gives me another 25 years. But at the same time, each thing that you do has consequences for the future, right there. And hopefully, we'll gain population. But if we go down, I don't know where we need over 4.
Pike County's got 3 and they're 4 times bigger than us, so I think it's an embarrassment that 7 of us are sitting here.
But
I
I'll
mean-
vote on it, but at this time, I'm gonna vote no
Well, I
myself.
mean, you know, I think we all know why I'm making the motion. When I sit in my seat here, I'm outvoted 4-1 if there's an issue with the Grundy School. That's why we're going to Southern Gap.
That's
You know,
what I
I'm
know,
outvoted
that's the reason I
4-1.
think.
I'm outvoted 5-3 at the PSA. I'm outvoted 4-1, or 4-3 at DSS, IBA, all these different places.
You know, I'm gonna try to stay calm here, but
I wanna
I hear this
correct
all the
one
time,
thing
just one
right
second. I hear this all the time about how Hurley don't get nothing, they're voted down, but now Hurley gets way more than their share.
I didn't
Wait.
say Hurley didn't get anything.
All right, then,
It comes to a school issue.
it's schools, that's a done deal. Look,
That's not a done deal,
it-
if I go to court.
well, we'll see, if it happens, it happens.
It's gonna happen.
Look, Hurley gets way more. Matter of fact, I mean, we can go into numbers. They get way more if you look at it on an annual basis than what Grundy does. They've been, and matter of fact, I've sat here and lost votes before. And you keep saying the 4 Grundy votes hold together, stick together and all this. It don't. That's not true. The 4 Grundy votes didn't even hold together on the school consolidation. If the 4 Grundy votes would have held together, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. It would have been done. No. No, I'm done. I mean, that's just, but now, that's not true, because now Hurley gets way more.
What does Hurley get more than anybody else?
They get a lot.
What do they get?
They get a lot, Trey. I'm not going into all these details.
I
with
mean,
you.
what do they get? Let's
I
hear it.
will join
I'm
in
done.
on the discussion, one thing, like, and I've always explained this. If you got 117 county roads and 58 or 60 bridges that the county's keeping up, and I've got 58 county roads, and I've got 12 bridges, which one are you gonna spend the most money on? What district?
We spent an equal amount of money last time I checked.
I think
Marcus verified that earlier. Did you not?
Now, the other thing, you want equality, and you talk about now, like old Mr. Stiltner's there. You think, really, and I'm from Hurley, born and raised there. But I can remember things that you want to do, like you want to hook up for the water for $200 when it's $700 or $8 now almost there for the whole county. You want your piece, but you don't want it to be the regular county. We need to be a county instead of one
what you're not
district.
telling her, Roger, is my district waited 30 or 40 years while your people in your district was drinking clean water, and mine was drinking bad water. And then 30 years down the road, my district finally gets water, and your hookup fee was $50, and I asked for a $200 hookup, but you failed to tell that. When we get to talking about this,
Well, the
it
people-
sounds wonderful until the truth comes out.
And
the truth
I
comes out,
say-
we waited 30 or 40 years past the town of Grundy having clean drinking water.
Yeah.
So we got clean drinking water, and we paid $9.50 to hook up instead of $50.
I'm
Oh, I
gonna,
showed my hind end. I mean, it is what it is.
I'm gonna say what it is too,
I
Trey.
got a
and
great idea before we start cussing.
I'm
get our
saying
hands,
this and
do the
pointing
roll
out.
call,
You
do
talk
against
about,
what you said at the debate when you were campaigning, and let's get this over with, because we know I'm gonna win this argument. And let's save an argument. If there's no need leaving here with hard feelings tonight, you got a ball game to go to. I could care less what anybody's doing. It is what it
can't
is.
argue if you don't give me a chance to
You've been
argue.
talking since you got here.
You continue the argument, I don't even get to say nothing.
I was
Is that
waiting,
an
hoping you
argument?
bring up the water thing, and you did, where I could say what I said. Thank you for
Well, let
that.
me say one point then, and I'll hush my argument there.
You're the chairman.
But I believe you said 30 years ago, Hurley should have had clean drinking water. I believe 30 years ago, they had a meeting in Hurley and asked the people if they would hook up for water, and 70% of them said no, and another 15% said hell no. Yeah, is that the question?
I said, whether they're asked, you said no. So, you know, here's the thing, that's why you elect people to make decisions for people
Yeah,
that
and
don't
then
know
you
what
say
they're
we've
asking
had
for.
this debate, but you said,
I've been
hey,
sitting
they should have had it. They had their chance to get it.
See, you're getting upset, just do the roll call and let's get it over with.
I ain't upset, I'm just saying I got a right to argue too, then I just got a right to point out the things like you say.
No, I pointed out
Hurley
that
is
water been 30 years.
still in there.
That's all that happened. So do the roll call.
I still ain't finished arguing, Trey. Now, I'm gonna call the roll, but when I point out something that's true,
I pointed out
you don't
something true
wanna
and very
acknowledge
upset
that,
you deeply.
Now, but, Dave, on the roll call.
No.
Tim?
No.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Greg? Lee?
I vote yes.
No, so it fails.
Of course.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, who seconded, did anybody second it?
Mrs. Chairman did a roll call on my behalf. I appreciate it for that.
Now, motion to pass the bills, or not, excuse me, the donations. That's donations.
Everybody looked at them?
All in favor, somebody make a motion?
Motion.
Do I need a second?
Second.
Mr.
Chairman, I'm gonna make a motion.
Dave?
Oh, I'm sorry, what's the motion?
Pay the contributions.
Okay.
Dave, Tim, Jeff,
Yes.
Trey,
What's the motion? I didn't hear it.
to not have 7 districts. Go to,
You vote yes, Roger?
no, I vote, no. Now contributions, I vote yes. Now, how'd you vote?
I vote yes.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I want to make a motion. I explained this earlier, and at the golf course, Ron and Carolyn is going to be kind of pulling back some from their duties. They also have a part-time worker that they're not going to bring back, and they've got a guy that's been over there for a year or two now, and he's got certified in lawn care and all the chemical care and all that. And he's been working full-time, part-time, and they'd like to know if we could bring him on full-time, and with what money they save on the chemicals care and the part-time care, they're saying that would make up the difference in bringing him on full-time, and he would probably end up staying. Because if not, we're gonna lose him. He's a really good worker, and I can't say his last name. Mike Sombrera? Santa Maria? Okay. That's kind of Mike. But he's a super worker. I mean, they really like him. Another thing, the golf course is all but breaking even over there. Since we got Ron and Carolyn in over there, which is a big plus. They've sent in like almost $200,000 in the last year. Is that correct? So they're all but breaking even over there. So that's a far cry from what it was when we got it dumped on us. So anyway, that's the motion.
Okay. Got a second?
No, second. I'm sorry.
Did you have a salary amount?
Whatever the entry level was for the park and rec, it'd be about the same thing. It's just gonna be managing that park area, that golf course. So what's the entry level on that?
Like 40 or 42.
It's around 40.
Yes.
You're gonna hire him permanently to
Yeah,
be the director of the golf course?
Yeah, Ron and Carolyn said they're just 70-some years old. They're gonna have to back off a little bit. And they're doing away with part-time helper, and they're also not gonna have the chemical people come in. So they're gonna be saving enough money, because he got certified to do the chemicals. So you'll save enough to pay him.
You got a motion?
I'll second.
Got a second? Roll call it. Dave? Tim?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Trey? Lee? Trey?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to, we have a meeting with the rescue squad personnel, Prater, council, and Knox is here. We voted in, or told in December that Knox would have a $19,500 check that went through the bank twice. You were notified that money came back, correct? So we actually didn't give them that 19.5. So we asked them at the committee meeting today what it took to make it to July the 1st, and that number was
54,000. Council's still good with the 153 we give them.
And I think Prager said they were in decent shape. Jamie did until July, so we've asked all of them,
We're giving them about 3 weeks to come back and get us some numbers to put in our budget for the next fiscal year, and some other odds and ends to present to the board, so we don't have that information just yet. Keep the salaries all the same and pay across the board for all of our volunteer rescue services throughout the county. And so the motion is to give Knox 54,000 to put them through until July the 1st. And that's basically another 34,000 because they didn't get the 19.5. From where?
Is it gonna come out of the Knox District's funds?
Well, I don't have that kind of money, but all the other rescue squads come out of different
Of taxes or whatever there, you're saying there, I mean, go there now. Go ahead there, your motion is to do that there, but I'm just pointing out there, Hurley don't get this, but then they want this now.
They don't get $20 million spent on the park, so you have either, so, you know, all the developments and all that there, so, you know, it is what it is, we both got plenty of arguments. So,
Good arguments.
we spent over $20 million on parks.
No mind arguing there, but I'd like to argue with you there, okay?
I'm good at it.
All right. You heard it, did you get a second?
I was busy arguing with you.
Now, how much more can we appropriate this year? And additional appropriations.
Well, we talked about that earlier, we'd rather not do it anymore. But we just did one for coyotes, for 56,000.
So I'm just talking about our budget, what we have.
54,000 over the same.
How much we already give them there?
I think 9,000.
Give them money.
We give council 153,000, they figure they should, I think about,
85.5 of that with 2 people, we've got 10 working, so I mean, it's expensive, but, you know, like we know council was in the hole to start
If
with.
we continue to pay the way we're paying everybody there, we're gonna have 10 working in every district that ever were.
You're probably looking at 100,000, a little over 100,000 for the year for Knox. I'm not sure on council, probably 150 maybe. I don't know about Prater and Oakwood, but we're gonna have some costs on them. You know, the 30,000 district ain't working anymore.
I think that's correct, because if you're gonna do what we're doing now, with my piecemeal, it's gonna be 400,000 to 500,000.
instead of what we give them 30 each district now, but we always add more to that, let's just say 30.
That's
210,000, we're gonna be at 500,000 probably.
That's 400,000 to 500,000 more than the 30,000 plus the 20,000 plus there's something else, I don't know. We got the insurance and the 30,000, so that's 50,000, so that's 350,000. So it's a lot more.
We don't have all them numbers in the budget, as a whole.
So,
He said out of the lottery money.
We still have money yeah, it's called the improvement fund. I forgot what it's called, but we do have, you've spent some of that, but we still do have some of that revenue. We just haven't appropriated it, right? The 600 and,
Yeah, we spent, we allocated some of that to the radios that we bought for the rescue schools.
All of it.
We'll second this motion.
Those are what was allocated to council.
okay, so I'll take that back, we don't have that. Because we did spend that on stars, didn't we?
Yeah.
28 hours
So-
overtime.
We can't use the casino money because we spend it on the stars radio system for the rescue and fire.
Remember when we put 100,000 on that, he went over and broke it?
Probably July, August.
We don't usually
28 hours a week.
So it should be every year, it's what they're telling us. But it won't be for another 6 or 7 months.
I'm gonna second, Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna second the motion with the agreement that Mr. Atkins and I made in the committee meeting about making some adjustments to the, staff personnel. And I'd like that reflected in the minutes, please.
So it'll have to be an additional appropriation.
Look, you know, I'm as hard on this as anybody, but I'm telling you, until you're sitting there waiting on an ambulance to show up, I know, you've gotta find a happy medium here that everybody can be taken care of. And it's just, I'm gonna get this, and not, you know, I just reminded Mr. Atkins of what I told him. And this, there gotta be a happy medium. There's the issue that happened that they responded to, and I appreciate it. And if it hadn't been for them, nobody would have showed. Again, I don't want to get into it because there's still a lot of upset people, but it is what it is. We need them, but I'm not going to vote to support them as long as this is the last time, unless there's some adjustments made.
How many paid rescue squads have we got now?
Prater, Oakwood, Knox, and Council, 4.
Oakwood, Prater, Knox County. You're starting on that?
You can't even count that yet because I have not done anything.
But what I'll say there, how many are we going to end up with, like Trey's talking about there a minute ago? Are we gonna have a rescue
Squad for each district. We got one in Grundy there. I don't know, but
You have Russell
if you
Prater.
hire 10 people to each rescue squad there, like I said, there was something we can do to kind of centralize it more there to where we don't have people running into each other trying to rescue one person there whenever everybody wants to make the call. Now, I ain't against the rescue squad, but I'm saying there's a limit to anything. And then the one who beats the other one to the call, he's going to be able to claim the insurance fee if he's got insurance. And
I'll tell you one thing, my mother goes up the road, or my nephews, or our grandson goes up the road and is in a car wreck. I hope they're fighting over who gets there first. I hope they.
I ain't arguing about who answers the call again, Trey. I'm just trying to say that, can you afford to have 70 people working
We can make some.
just simply in rescue for Buchanan County?
No.
Uh,
No, you can't.
You can't do that there. We ain't got enough money to operate a system like that there. That's more than Chicago's got.
Well, we do have enough money to operate that system. We can operate that system, but we gotta cut out a lot of the things. You gotta, and I'm not you guys, I mean, I'm fine, if we wanna pay that, that's gonna be what we pay, and we got something else that's gotta go.
We got a
The
lot
waste.
Something else, we gotta cut something else out. I don't know, I mean, Roger, you would know more than, we're not adding a lot of money back to Oakwood, are you? I mean, we're not asking for Oakwood to have additional appropriations, or they're a big, they play a big part in.
Prater's doing all the transfers.
Well, and so is-
They're set up pretty good.
and so is Oakwood.
They're bringing in Oakwood does the same thing.
We had that discussion, Tim, I tell you.
How many calls did Early One play last month?
I think they were at 700 911 calls to maybe 600 and some. Prater had 911, but Prater did,
Or not last month, the whole year. Prater does a lot of transfers.
You get like
But
two a
the
day.
problem is, if you take transfers away from Prater and give them to Knox, you're just borrowing money from Peter to pay Paul. We're still gonna pay it whether we pay it to Prater or Hurley.
I know Prater only does 500-700. Yeah, like.
A lot of them's transfers, which is good, they have to be done, but they're a lot more money. They get on reimbursements.
They got 2 crews set up. They got 26 employees to my 10. They're running 2 ambulances every day. We run 1 ambulance 5 days, 2 ambulances 2 days. So there's a lot of, I encourage the whole board to come to these committee meetings. I mean, there's a lot of information you get that I didn't understand.
Well, I ain't against it. I'm talking about we need people to be rescued, but we have got to have a little bit
of control on how much money we're spending on different categories, from schools to rescue squads to everything else. We just can't keep on the spending and taking in less, and what we're taking in, the less we go with the tax raise. Now, I point out, and then, like I said, but just recently, on all this property that is going off the tax roll because of the flood thing. Now, every piece that we see coming into the county goes off the tax roll. And we got to be realistic and look and see how much money we're going to lose off of this one flood plan there. And then we got to be responsible there and look at the amount of money that our citizens are here for there. And we've got an elderly population, and we've got a lot of people that's drawing $800 and $900 and $1,000 in Social Security, and their electric bill is $500. You got to have some common sense and say, hey, they also like to have a little food, little telephone maybe, and maybe watch a little TV or something there, but they ain't got the money to do it. You got to watch what you spend for on these people, because we got that.
And, from homes to schools, everything. This is our downfall. Yes.
I got a motion on the floor,
And a second.
and repeat the motion again there for me
Getting
there.
54,000 out of the, whatever count, additional appropriation, to the Knox District. Issue of check, Greg second the motion.
Okay, I'll start it with Dave there.
I'm gonna vote yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Yep. Greg?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Are you guys, I'm fast first time around, you know, I think it's necessary, I do, I think it's necessary that we keep that thing going, but we just have to, I just think we need to cut somewhere else, you know? In order to keep giving money, you know, we're pulling out of the kitty all the time, and we're not putting a lot back. And that's for days when we really need it, and when we really need it, it's not gonna be there. And that's my biggest concern, is, you know, we just did, what'd you say, 56, how many $1,000 for the Coyote?
56.
56, I mean, that would have been what we needed for rescue squad. We just did $315,000 or $200 some thousand for an extra construction crew. We probably should have considered that. We probably shouldn't have did that, knowing what we know now.
That comes out of code.
That has to be spent that way. What we're doing, K&K will be eliminating that money, put
Right.
toward this new crew.
I understand. But, you know, and I'm guilty. I'm guilty as anybody else. I mean, I'm guilty of wasting money. I'm not,
I want
or
the
just
board to-
spending money unnecessary because you want to give it to a school or you want to give it to a park or something like that. But, you know, like I said, you got, it's a very needful thing.
Let me say this, before you, and I agree with you, the cost does worry, but what we discussed in the meeting today, we're gonna end up giving a little over 100,000 to Knox, we feel like in this coming budget. Instead of the 30, we're gonna give them a whole 100,000+, okay? We're getting 10 employees out of that for $100,000. You hire one employee here at a decent salary, we're 100,000 into it. We're getting 10 employees plus the service they provide of saving lives. If we give council 200,000, you know, we're not gonna get the whole 10 employees out of that, because they're not gonna cover the cost as good, but if we get 4 out of 200,000, you know, that's basically 50,000 apiece. You know, the good outweighs the bad, we got a rescue squad county. If we start one in Rock Lake, and the creeks out the corner like I am, like,
Garden is, wherever. The amount of employees you're getting, and they're putting their kids in school for the money we're spending, is a good investment. It's an investment in our people here. Where we need to cut money, in my opinion, where the big chunk of money needs to come from, the last 2 years, for instance, the school system has had $1.4, $1.6 million in surplus. And we just give it back to them to spend on whatever.
You made that motion.
I was involved in. There's where we can make some cuts. You know, 1.6 million. So, you know, we cut $1 million of that, we've got $1 million extra dollars to put in the rescue squads. I mean,
That's what we gotta do.
they're funding everything they need to do and still having $1.5 million extra every year. We gotta quit giving them that money every year, I think. So, there's where we start.
Probably next thing that we should do is start cutting these recreational accounts and spending this money like we're doing on Parks and Rec, but that's besides the point on this one right here. All I'm saying to you there is, I've seen it go both ways. As long as that coal is rolling, we're doing good. But when that coal don't roll, we're gonna have to do something to get money because you have to have money to operate a government.
Well, I'll vote yes, and I'll vote yes based on, it's not the residents' fault. I mean, they need the money, they need the rescue squad. It's our fault that we haven't managed our money right, and it's our fault. So I'll vote yes, but I vote yes based on we find somewhere to cut some money. So I vote yes.
So we don't have everything up to date. We have everything through last, was it November? I thought it was July.
Well, it was July on one account and then November on that other account that we requested. So, yeah, we're lacking some.
Well, yeah, I think we request, and I know, we'll put this in the right way, that at the time we start talking about how much money we should appropriate, that me and the finance director be included in that so that we can tell you, yes, we believe this will work.
Well, you should have historical data now. I mean, you're gonna see how much we've added and how much we've added
We have a lot, but
how much we've added, so you should be able to
when
figure out how to baseline.
I'm just saying, when the meetings happen with the rescue squads and they're talking about all this, the finance director should be there and I should be there.
I made a recommendation at the committee today that Knox needs to get the spreadsheet like Russell Prater's got. Russell Prater walks in, he just pulls up on his cell phone, he said, here it is. No, he can show you everything, where every penny's spent. And so, you know, that's a lot easier than trying to come in and dig through a bunch of paperwork. Every check that's wrote should be documented on that spreadsheet, itemized, or in a certain line item. And then that way, if somebody asks you a question, how much is this cost, how much is this, all you gotta do is open it up and show it. It's, and, you know, like I said, it's easy if you don't need an ambulance, okay? But if you're sitting somewhere waiting on an ambulance, you know, you think differently. You're thankful that those boys at Russell Prater, you're thankful for the ones over at Hurley, wherever. I mean, I'm telling you now, I mean, I've been as hard on them, and I know me and Trey's almost come to blows over this more than once. I want the program to run, but I want it to be efficient. I don't think, and again, we had an issue and we talked about it, and I mean and I don't care to tell you, I mean, this is the last time I'm voting unless the problem's fixed. And it's nothing personal, it's business. If you're gonna run something like that, it's gotta be run as a business, because that's what it is. It's gotta be efficient. You can't just have certain line items eating up all your money. So, I mean, that's just the way it is, and again, we go back to always cutting parks and all this other stuff. I've made this statement before. I sit here with 7 board members. We all get the same amount of park and rec, same amount of park and development money. Everybody gets the same amount. I'm sitting here, I've got Poplar Creek, Harmon, Big Rock, Home Creek, and the Breaks. That's all the parks in my district. Now, I didn't create any of these parks. I inherited them. Okay, they were there. I've got 2 gyms and 4 community centers. I have to take care of all of these with the same money these other guys get that have, some of them have 1 park. No offense, I'm glad you just got 1. I wish I had 1. But what do? You just let it grow up and go to the weeds? I don't think so. It has to be maintained. because there's too many people using these parks and stuff in my district, so, you know, we can cut a lot of places, and I can go a lot of places to cut. But Park and Rec and Park Development, that little dab of money I get to keep all them up is not gonna be one of them. So, yeah.
Have we finished the whole?
Let me, one other thing I'm gonna say there before I vote myself there. But I believe it was 4 years ago, we had our budget down to $40 million. And I believe now our budget in those 4 years have gone back up, and I'm just pointing out spending money, to $47 million. Now, there's an increase of 7 million, and what I'm saying there, sooner or later, we're not like the federal government. We cannot just keep on adding on. They ain't never gonna pay their debt, but we have to pay ours every year. Now, we have to balance that budget. And if we keep on spending there, we have no choice but you people that are gonna run for the next election there, you're gonna have to face a big tax raise because you're spending at too fast a rate. Now, shut up now, vote. Go ahead, I remember the voice reading anything where it said there.
I vote yes.
Roger always makes a big case, but he always ends up voting for it. I say, I have tried. And this time I've decided there, I'm gonna stick to what I'm saying there. Everybody else voted yes, I'm voting no. Now, that's it, okay?
Okay. Anything else? Is that Mr. We have had a change in chief dispatcher. The last chief dispatcher was also the 911 coordinator. And that's not an increase in pay, that's just more work. So I recommend that we name the chief dispatcher also as the 911 coordinator, because there's no pay in it.
Say it again, I didn't hear you.
Chief dispatcher, I recommend we, with no pay increase, that person also do what the last one did, which was 911 coordinator. And all that means is they help coordinate the equipment and watch the grants that come through the state to make sure our equipment in dispatch is replaced and upgraded as we go.
Who is the 911 coordinator dispatcher now? I don't know the name. Alan?
Dorothy Lambert.
Dorothy Lambert.
Second.
We got a motion in a second. Oh, wait a minute there, add some that motion there, or,
911 coordinator.
911 coordinator there, and Jeff already had, made a motion to adjourn, so you held it up, right?
Yeah.
All right, call on the 911 coordinator, Dave?
Yes.
Tim? Jeff?
Yes.
Lee? Trey? I also vote yes now.
Whoa, one more thing, we need to, I apologize, we have one more motion out of the committee. Do you wanna make that motion, Craig, on the EMS coordinator?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna make, the committee, him, Craig, and myself agreed to make a motion to, seek an EMS educational coordinator to put on, to teach a EMT class, here in Buchanan County. And we would like to advertise to hire that person, to contract that out to them, not hire them as an employee, but to, hire them to, and Jamie told us there was one in Richlands and one in Dixon County that does it. Advertise to hire that person, to contract it out to them to, provide a class here in Buchanan County, because one of the issues we're having is there's not enough people doing that, EMT, paramedics and things, so we'd like to, advertise to hire that person to put on a class for us.
Everybody do the motion, advertise, who's seconding it? Anybody second the motion?
Yes, I do.
Then roll call it, Dave,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes. Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
I also vote yes. Now, motion.
I don't know if anybody, do they want us to read this off? About they're having the Virginia Cooperative Extension's having a basic introduction to canning with supplies, types of cans, safety tips, and et cetera on March 1st from 1 to 2 at the Buchanan County Library.
Okay, Kim, thank you. Lee?
Chairman, Trey, you remember the issue that came up at the PSA meeting last time in regards to creating a committee to work on an MOU on the Worline crew
Yes.
issues?
I do remember. The PSA's put, me and who, Carol?
The engineering committee,
Who's the other, me and who, Carol?
you, Carol, me.
Me, Carol, and Bob. We need to meet with 2 supervisors, probably Craig Stiltner needs to be one of them because he's on the co-road, to work out an MOU.
Right,
With
to deal with the issue
From
with
the PSA to the board of supervisors on this water line crew that we've created, as far as the PSA, taking the projects we do into the system, hooking to our system, the engineer, how they, manage the hydraulics of the system, all that. So there needs to be a committee, Mr. Chairman, of the, board of supervisors, someone other than myself to, sit on that committee. And I think, again, I don't know how Craig feels about it, but I think he needs to sit on it as one of them because of being on the co-road, due to the fact it's paid through the co-road. So you have a problem with that, Mr. Chilton? Anybody else want to serve?
Mr. Bowden. I'll make a motion to appoint, Mr. Still and Mr. Dawson to that committee for the board of supervisors.
Motion, second, the point. Craig, we're committee, and my roll call, Bob?
Yes.
Dave? Kim?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Me? Craig, I also vote yes. Now, the what?
Anything else? We don't have no closed session or?
No.
No.
We got a motion of Jeff to adjourn.
Second.
Now,
Second, all those, excuse me, Dave, Alan, Jim, Jeff, Lee, Lee.